Hi there guys, and welcome to another tutorial. Today we're going to be building some wooden slab tables. I got some slabs here from a tree that was taken down in the neighborhood, and I just cut them with my 18-inch chainsaw, and we got some nice slabs here. They're from some type of piney wood, and what I'd like to do is I'd like to make a table out of these slabs. Now there's various ways you can do this, and one of the first designs I thought of was the hairpin legs, but they're rather expensive online, so I'm gonna try something a little different that's made my own. So what I got here is a 92-inch long cedar branch. I just cut it right here off of the tree. You can see right there. It was a big, dead, ugly branch, and it was kind of unsightly when we were sitting on our deck. So I just took it off, and I'm gonna try to see if we can't make our table legs for the table out of this instead of the hairpin legs, which were quite expensive. So as you can see, it's not exactly straight, but it is fairly straight for the most of it. So we're gonna see if we can fashion cuts in here that are gonna make the table at least not shaky, even if it's not 100% level, but we're gonna give it our best shot here. Now that I cut my logs, I took 3 of them and placed them on the deck surface here, and then I went and got a slab and put that slab on top of them, and we can see kind of now what it's gonna start to look like. But I am planning to strip off the bark of these legs here, just because we wanted to make that kind of raw finish, but only have it on here. If you wanted, you could leave the bark on these legs. Really a personal decision, up to you. Now we can see here that the surface, the slab, was maybe not cut exactly flat, and also in the process of it drying, it does change shape, and some damage such as this crack can form in it when they dry. That's just part of the way things dry if you leave them kind of unattended. So we're gonna have to look at that when we sand this and see what we can't do to correct some of these imperfections. So I'm just here doing some sanding on the slabs. As you can see, the chainsaw left some marks on it, so we want to get out these grooves from the chainsaw right here, and we also just want to level it out and get any color imperfections that might have been caused during cutting out of this log here. And we also want to look at making the grain more visible, such as in here than in here, and you can see that this is just somewhere again where the chainsaw blade hit. And once you start sanding, you'll notice that the grain really becomes more visible, and that's what we want, because when you put the stain on, that'll be highlighted even more. So now that these are sanded, they're ready to be stained, and I just wiped them with a damp lintless cloth and waited for that to dry. Now I'm going to be using some Danish oil on them. That's gonna penetrate in the wood, but also leave a hard kind of lacquered finish on top. So let's go ahead and get that started. Now I'm starting with the bottom of the logs first. That way, when I do the sides, if any dribbles come to the front, we'll be able to fix those at the end. So that's why this is a bit rougher here. I didn't go as hard on the sanding for the bottom, just because it wasn't really necessary, as this won't be seen, but I still wanted to give it a coat of this to protect it anyways. Now, due to the fact that this is all end grain here, we have to be quite generous with the stain and give it lots, and we might even have to do a second coat. Now we wait about half an hour, 30 minutes in between each coat, just to give it enough time to cure. But we might not want to do more than 2 coats. It might not be a very good idea, so we'll just play it by ear, see how things are looking, and go by that. I got a little surprise for y'all. I decided to go with the hairpin legs. I coughed up the money, ordered them online, and they're here. So what I'm doing now is I am just putting them underneath and then marking with a pencil where they should go, and then that way I'm able to flip the table upside down and screw the legs in the position where the table is most level. Now if you encounter some problems with the top of the log not being totally flat, you can shim them, but just do be aware if you're able to see the shim or not, depending on the thickness of your shim, because you don't want to be seeing a shim underneath there. It would look rather unsightly. So I was actually able to sell this table and another one that I made, because I made two of them with two slabs, and I was able to sell them for $50 each. And I also was able to sell the legs from the table, which I had from this project. And I did end up stripping the bark off them. Basically, I just used like a putty knife and was able to sort of chip the bark off. It was cedar, so it peeled off pretty easy. Um, then the bits that didn't, I was just able to soak them in a bit of water, and then they just popped off no problem. So yeah, in all, even though I didn't use them legs, I was able to sell them as well. So yeah, it turned out to be a very valuable project, and I'm excited for the next one. See you guys there.